What if the magical energy that flows everywhere in the world of Druides could also be found in the food that people eat? What would happen? In Louvran, the capital of the realm of Thewin, the main ingredient used as food by people is fish. The nearby river and the proximity to the ocean make it an obvious choice. Fish is used in many recipes and cooked in different ways. Fishing is one of the biggest trades and resources for the city and the realm at large, and the traditional cuisine revolves around fish, roots like carrots, onions, and meat from animals hunted in the surrounding forests, like rabbits, deer, and boars. There are also variations of these dishes that the more rich people will prepare, with hard-to-find ingredients and methods of preparation that require a lot of work and time. It is not a common occurrence that a fish influenced by magic gets fished, cooked, and served to someone. The magical energy doesn't only cause minor changes to the aspect of the fish, it makes the animal really receptive, clever, and faster, so you can imagine that it's pretty difficult to catch such a fish. Unfortunately for the animal, sometimes it can happen. A lot of fishermen are able to distinguish the fish that are influenced by magic, and they tend to avoid fishing them, promptly returning them to the water if they get caught in their nets. The cosmetic differences in the fish are difficult to see under sunlight. Thin lines of teal and purple-colored magic move and shift on the skin of the animal. It is similar to a sort of bioluminescence, and for that reason it's easier to see when it's dark. It can happen that a distracted fisherman doesn't pick up on the thin magical lines that are visible on the fish and puts it with the other normal-looking fishes. The crate with the fish gets then sold in the market. The energy that is present inside these peculiar fish will start to leave the body as soon as the fish dies. But not all the magic will leave the body in time, and some unfortunate soul will decide to buy exactly that fish and promptly bring it home and prepare it for the family. At this point, the magical lines are not visible anymore on the fish, but as I mentioned, some of the magic will remain inside the body of the fish. It is time for dinner, and the family finally eats their portion of Louvranite trout, with some onions and some carrots on the side. Occasionally, some herbs and even some berries will be used. The fish is absolutely delicious. Everyone is happy. When it comes the time to go to bed, the unfortunate family will realize that something is wrong. They don't know what caused this, but they will have a night full of paranoia, nightmares, visions of floating figures in front of them. If everything goes well, nothing will happen, and after a few hours, everyone will go back to sleep. But a few hours are enough for a lot of things to happen, and paranoia can lead to violence. The magic consumed makes you hear voices, a ton of voices all talking together at the same time, one on top of the other. It feels like you're surrounded by an infinite amount of people. There is also the faintest sound of water, a river moving. There is darkness and some sparks of a purple light. The voices seem to stop whenever a stronger flash of light appears, but then they will start again telling you to do things, to say things. It is becoming more and more difficult to distinguish what is real and what is not real. Fortunately, this is something that doesn't happen really often. The trout is a common ingredient in the city and in the whole realm. People won't surely stop eating it just because of a few episodes of entire families having paranoia for 3 hours. In the Kellen Mountains, the most traditional dish is the pig pum stew, made with the typical purple pumpkins, meat, carrots, and herbs. It is a warm and filling food, perfect for the cold weather of the mountains. It is usually served with the goat cheese-filled bread that is made in the shape of the hat commonly used by the tribe of Stone, and it is only natural to ask, which came first, the bread or the hat? Everyone loves this dish in the villages of the mountains. It is easy to make with readily available ingredients, and it is very filling. There is also another reason why everyone loves it, and that has to do with the pig pumpkin itself. This purple and yellow squash grows in caves in the mountains, where the plant is protected from the harsh weather and hungry goats. The tribe of Stone has been growing these pumpkins for centuries, using magic to protect the plants and make them grow in the most perfect way. The caves in which the pumpkins grow are also often places where you can find pools of magical energy, so it is quite obvious for the pumpkin to be influenced by magic. The tribe of Stone knows this, and they make sure that each pumpkin receives the right amount of magic. The magic is actually visible on the pumpkin itself as very thin and fine lines of a teal-colored energy that often glows in a heartbeat rhythm. The glow usually disappears after the pumpkin gets cooked and prepared into the stew, but it can happen that one of the pumpkins absorbs a higher amount of energy, so the magic will be visible even after cooking, making for a rather peculiar bowl of stew. The effects of eating such a pumpkin are actually extremely beneficial, especially if you're in the mountains. This squash helps with the dizziness and the flu-like symptoms that some people not accustomed to the high altitude can feel while traversing the mountains. The people who live in the Kallen region are of course used to the altitude, but no one will say no to a good bowl of stew. It is believed that feeding these squash to the kids will help them overcome the dizziness and get used to the altitude, and some say that by doing so, even their resistance to the cold increases. In any case, this squash is delicious. It has the right texture, consistency, and a very sweet flavor. One could even say that the pig pumpkin is the symbol of the Kallen Mountains. This one is definitely a dish that I would love to try, especially that goat cheese-filled bread. Sounds so good. For these concepts, I really wanted to keep the drawings a little bit more simple, with less detail, and have fun with the rich, vibrant colors. I wanted to give the final concepts a specific look, and basically I wanted them to be like they were out of a cookbook or some recipe cards that someone in the world of Druwides created. I feel that food is something that I tend to forget about while doing world building, but it plays such an important role and can say a lot about what's available in a place and what are the habits of the characters. And since the magic is everywhere and it permeates the earth itself, it was only natural for me to imagine this energy having some influence in creatures like fish, something that people will commonly eat. I played with the idea of fish giving paranoia and hallucinations because that is something that could actually happen by consuming a fish with a high level of mercury inside. So I wanted to play with that concept a little bit and imagine what magic could do to someone eating it. I also did some research on medieval dishes, trying to see what kind of ingredients and what kind of methods of preparing the food there were. I'm not trying to be historically accurate here, but I like to take inspiration from our own world's history. And regarding the idea for the pumpkin, it felt the right decision to give the people that live in the mountains some kind of way to overcome the high altitude effects on the body. I wanted to have one negative and one positive effect to show how varied magical energy is and how it influences the world differently. This was definitely a fun challenge for me, and I am very pleased about these illustrations. I especially appreciate that I was able to keep them fairly simple and I didn't get too caught into the tiny details, which most often than not are not really doing much for the whole image. As I said, there are many small elements like food that are worth the time to research them and do concepts about them. We tend to concentrate on bigger topics, but I feel that, as with the plants that I designed a few months ago, these seemingly insignificant parts of the world building are actually sometimes even more fun to design, and they give me the opportunity to play with different styles and techniques. I hope you enjoyed this new video about my project Druwides. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know which one of these 2 dishes you would like to try. Do you know I have an Etsy shop and that I have recently opened international shipping? No? Well, then you will find the link in the description. I'm currently working on new products for the shop, so make sure that you follow me on my TikTok and my Instagram so you can be notified when I drop new stickers and fun things. As always, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will see you in the next one.